Hey, good morning. Yes, it is. It's Wednesday, November 22nd. For you guys that are traveling or you guys that are having people come in, I wish you all a safe holiday and enjoy yourself. You've earned it. If you can help somebody else out that may be less fortunate or alone, that would be super. So today I thought I'd kind of go more in depth on defining what kind of shop truck do you need. This should be neat because I know I'm going to get a lot of help from you guys out there. All right, stay tuned. All right, what do I mean by defining what kind of a shop truck you really need? It depends upon what you're doing. Each shop truck is different. You have a general contractor is going to have a lot of extension cords, ropes, ladders, and all that stuff, right? Because they're working on houses. And they're also probably going to have a tough box in the back of their truck with a lot of electrical stuff and, pry bars, hammers, screw guns, you name it. They're going to be on that truck. So when it comes to us repair guys, like a furnace repair guy is going to carry spare parts for furnaces, an array of tools, usually a van, because the van will hold more stuff in it. But when it comes to running a small engine repair shop, I know that most of you aren't out there on the road doing pickup and drop-offs because you just don't have time, right? But still, for those guys like us and the guys that are buying used mowers and flipping them, they have to have some way to get them from where they're at back to where we can work on them, right? So what I did yesterday was I did a video of things you should have in your truck if you're just going to pick it up and bring it back. And a couple of you guys, Ed, Jason, with crescents and that stuff, yep. I think everybody should carry some kind of a tool chest in their vehicle. And that is to, if you break down on the side of the road or somebody else breaks down the side of the road, you may be clueless of what tools to have, but if somebody stops, like me, to give you a hand, I understand what the tools are and what I need, and to a certain point, okay, because these engines and everything is computerized, so you gotta have such high-tech stuff now to fix most things. But we're going to talk today about the particular shop truck that's seeing dual purpose, okay? And when I say dual purpose, I mean it's acting as a vehicle to go pick up, bring it back. Once we have it fixed, pick it up, take it back, and then come back to the shop. That's one purpose. Dual purpose is a lot of times with tractors. People ask if we can come work on them there. And it depends upon what the issue is. If it's a non-starting issue where it could be the points, condenser, plugs, what have you, then we will go. We will take a trailer. We will go, and we have each truck is equipped to a certain extent. And I'll go into it because the dually's got even more stuff than the other two. But the basics that we carry, and most of the stuff is carried in a tough box in the back. One of those lockable ones where you can lock them so somebody isn't stealing your stuff. And some of the things that we carry are just standard, your 1/4 inch, your 3/8 inch, and your 1/2 inch drive, complete set of metric and SAE sockets. We also carry extra extensions for those 3 sets. You can get the combo set right at Tractor Supply, or at Tractor Supply is one, but you can get it at Harbor Freight for not a lot of money. And I guess they are guaranteeing their stuff. I didn't think they were, but somebody was telling me the other day, yeah, just take it in, they'll swap it out. That's the way they used to be. And then we have, again, Harbor Freight is fine. Pick up a kit of screwdrivers. It has Phillips and the regular slotted, and have them different sizes. And a lot of times in that kit, you'll find that it comes with what they call awls. And they're just smaller, like a little, some of them have curves and then some of them are straight. So you can get like O-rings and stuff like that with them. That's what we use them mainly for here in the shop and on the road. The next thing you're going to want is open end and box end wrenches. And we carry both the SAE and the metric. And we actually go up higher than the normal sets are usually 3/4 is about the biggest they get. We go up as far as 2 inch. They aren't the ratchet style, they're the old, but we encounter some big bolts on tractors. But if you carry up to a 3/4 inch drive in the metric and SAE, and they can be ratchet wrenches because they're handy, or box end wrenches, whatever works best for you and your budget. We also carry an arsenal of straps, tie downs. We have, let me take a step back. We have chain binders and chains. That's for the bigger stuff. We have the 4-inch nylon strapping with the ratchet strap. And that's for smaller tractors and compact tractors and so on. And then we have right down to the smaller ones that we can ratchet down a lawnmower, snowblower, 4-wheeler, what have you. A lot of times with a 4-wheeler and side-by-sides, and we go pick them up, if they have a winch, we just take and hook the winch cable and bring it in tight and then just tighten it down so it can't move, and that works. So in your shop truck, you're probably only going to need the one kind, unless you get into the compacts, and that is Tractor Supply has them. I bought these straps from Harbor Freight, and they're just so chintzy. They don't hold up. Invest in a good set of straps if you're going to be doing pickup and drop-offs, because you are using them all the time. We carry in the truck toe straps. We carry zip ties. We carry grease fittings. We carry grease gun. We carry a DeWalt 3/8 impact wrench. Drill sets, in case we got to drill something. A DeWalt 20-volt drill. I'm trying to think how much, the freaking thing is full. And for us, when we do the sockets in the dually, which is usually what we use for the bigger tractors and stuff, that has got, instead of having your standard, Crescent or Harbor Freight or what have you, 1/4, 3/8, and 1/2 inch drive, we have 3/4 and 1 inch drive socket sets in that truck so that we can take on the bigger stuff. We also carry flares and triangles. Now, One of the things that you're going to have to check into is DOT numbers. If you're using that truck for work and going and picking up stuff, and you're doing it for hire, and they've kind of gotten down on everybody with this, is if you're doing it other than for yourself, then you need a DOT number on the side of your truck. And with that DOT number comes the responsibilities of making sure that you have, which we do, you have the fire extinguishers in place, the triangles, the flares. You want to make sure that everything on that truck works, because once that DOT number goes on there, then any Department of Transportation, whatever state you're in, has every right to pull you over for no reason and do an inspection to see if you're keeping everything up to snuff. And they also have the right to pull you over if they feel that you are doing work with your truck and your trailer and stuff and you don't have a DOT number. Now, we've had one DOT number for the business, and it's the same number for all the trucks. It doesn't vary. When you go online, it's free. When you go online, just fill it out, and they'll give you a DOT number, and then you need to, I talked with the officer a few years back, and he was saying that it didn't matter whether it's on the side of your truck or if it's easily seen on the side of your trailer. It needs to be visible from both sides. It is all it needs to be. We put it, we have our logo on the side of the truck, and then we have the DOT number right below it. And we had to pay for that to have it professionally put on the truck with vinyl decals and make it look good. But that's one thing you want to check into is the DOT issues in your area. And DOT isn't just the state of New York, it's federal. If you're going state to state to state, you need a DOT number. If you're just hauling a U-Haul trailer and you're moving your son to college, no. It's if you're making money at it. And that could be anything from dairy to beef farming, and we use the same DOT, to, a business. And the other thing you have to be careful for is having very much of your logos and everything on the side of the truck and not having a DOT number. Because I know up here they could be a stickler, and if you have any type of advertising on that vehicle, they can force the issue of you need to have a DOT number on the side of your truck or trailer or what have you, where we can see it on both sides. But that even goes for advertising for somebody else on your vehicle. What you need to do is you need to check your city, town, village, and state of what they need or want on that vehicle or require on that vehicle. Because I know if you get into the city, I'm not sure, I know like taxis and all that, they run under a different style, limos but you can run your DOT from upstate New York, downstate, and you're fine. But to continue on, you want to make sure you have a good arsenal of pry bars. You'll want some different size hammers. And we even carry what we call the plastic hammer, where it doesn't damage threads and stuff like that when you're pounding with it. I know I'm missing some stuff, but I'm trying to give you kind of a checklist of what you should have on that truck. And of course, as I mentioned in the prior video, we always make sure we have starting fluid for the diesel tractors, carburetor cleaner, for the gas equipment. We have 3 jump boxes, one in each truck, and what we end up doing is we bring them in and plug them in electrically. You can leave them plugged into your vehicle, with a cigarette lighter that comes with them. Now, what we also did with all 3 shop trucks is we end up putting what they call a headache rack on it, and that protects, anything getting tossed towards that back window. It protects it from being smashed. I mean, the grill is pretty thin because stuff happens when you're out in the field. And it's especially helpful on the 2 newer trucks because all 3 trucks are Fords. The 2 newer trucks are aluminum. And what we have, and I recommend, is some type of a strobe, yellow strobe on top, so that not only with your 4-way flashers, but they're also seeing something that's above the vehicle and it's a lot more intensity. It can be seen farther away. Now, it can be just as simple as what they call the fireman's light, the teardrop with the yellow in it. The old style round ones. We use the ones that are about 8-10 inches, the LED strobe. It's got you can set whatever one you want from side to side to flash and you can pick up those pretty reasonable. But what we end up doing, since the trucks are aluminum, the magnetic mount will not mount to the top of the truck. So what we end up doing on the headache racks, just took a thin plate of steel and welded it to the headache racks and then drilled holes so that we can bolt. And you don't necessarily have to go that far, because if they're magnetic mount, if you have a piece of thin stock metal, they will adhere to it. And we like those better because they can be seen farther away. Now, again, you need to check your locale. Up here, we're allowed to run the yellow ambers, and that's just simply a warning light to let people know that you're off the side of the road, whether it's picking up or dropping off or working on something. And then it varies from township. Up here, blue for our fire department is for firemen, and for EMT it's green, and then for fire chiefs and the fire equipment it's red and white LEDs. So just check your locale. I mean, up here, pretty much every place I go, the ambers aren't an issue, but if you start looking at putting on other light bars on top that are the blue, the green, the red, just be forewarned that good chances are you as a repair shop cannot have it on there, even if you are a fireman or an EMT like I was. I was an EMT and fireman. That you can run those EMT and fireman lights on the top or in your grill, the blue green, but that's only to an emergency, not from. And then the ambulance, of course, is running red. A lot of times, even in the ambulance, when I tell the driver, no lights and sirens, just because I always felt that it causes more issues with other drivers, pulling over, pulling off the side of the road, everybody's gawking whereas, if you're just not running any lights and you're just traveling up the road, because I've seen accidents caused from red lights. So, but just check your local regulations to see what it is you can run. And I'll tell you, they're handy as heck, especially if you're on the side of the road and it's dark out. 4 ways, yeah, but that strobe, it could be seen a long way away with LED lighting these days. And you can simply just plug that right into the cigarette lighter and hit the on switch. And then you can change whichever type strobe you want on top. Alright, so I'm going to start wrapping that up. I know I missed a few things, but I'm curious of what you guys carry in your shop trucks. Like I say, the bulk of small engine repair, unless you are doing service work out in the field, oil changes and stuff like that, you're probably not going to carry a lot of tools. And if you're only doing just pickup and drop-offs, you're going to be limited to what you carry. And also, before I forget, a good set of come-alongs is an asset in the trucks in case you have to ratchet something up onto the trailer. As I spoke about yesterday, there's technically 4 trailers that we have. Claude has his own, and that's a 7.5 something by 12. And that handles his UTV, the Yamaha. It handles his lawnmowers and stuff like that. And we've used it as a shop trailer here and there because I busted the spring on my 7.5 by 14, and we had to utilize his trailer. But on the 7.5 by 14, we just have I call it just an El Cheapo winch, and on a winch or on a Reese hitch style hookup. And then we just take the jump pack. Instead of having batteries back there and trying to have everything all hooked up, we just run the jump pack for that. And the same thing goes for my 7.5 something by 18 foot. Now that's got a 25,000 pound winch on it. And there's no battery box and stuff like that. So we also use the jump pack on that to pull stuff up onto the trailer. And then on the 5th wheel, that's has built-in battery boxes and stuff, and with an on and off switch, and then you plug it in. I'll tell you, having the remote controls are nice when you're trying to load stuff, because you can stay back from it or swing it, what have you. And on the big winch, it's a 45-foot lead cable that just plugs in to the unit, and then we run it back so that I can hop right on the tractor itself, throw the whip over the side of the trailer so we're not running over it, and then just steer it up on, get it where I want it, stop. Just before that, chain the back end down to the trailer, and then use the winch to tighten it up to have something in the front tying it down. So again, each of us are going to encounter different things. I'm curious of what you guys are doing out there. And while we're talking about loading trailers and stuff, the biggest thing you need to do when you're loading stuff on that trailer is make sure that most of your weight is over the axles. And the way we do that is like on the compacts and the farm tractors and so forth, we just try to center them over the tandem axle trailer tires in the back. Usually with the hind tire just about touching the first set of duals. Because what happens is, if you don't have enough weight, then it's like this, and it's going to fishtail behind you, okay? And if you have too much weight, the ass end is on the truck and you're sitting like this, you want steady pressure on that hitch, but you don't want it so far ahead that the truck is carrying the weight, and you don't want it very far back to where there's no weight and it's just slamming. So just be aware of that when you're loading your trailer. Is look where your axle is or axles, and try to put your weight, the biggest weight load, over top of that, so it's sitting on that and just ahead a little bit, just so you're getting enough weight on that tongue so that it's keeping it down. And it comes with time, it comes with practice. You'll get it, but you'll know if you start driving down the road and the trailer starts fishtailing, you've either got it too light or too heavy, and you need to stop right at that point and get that centered up so that the weight is over that axle. And let me finish this up by Thanksgiving is tomorrow. And remember, it's about the journey. It's about being around friends and family and having a good time. Of course it's about the food, but it's more important, it's about getting together. And I can remember, when the kids were young and stuff, we would go to my in-laws, my wife's parents, for Thanksgiving dinner, and she'd have that at noon. And then we would go to my grandfather's Thanksgiving dinner, and that was at 5. And then at 6:30, 7 o'clock, we'd go over to one of the aunts' dinners there. And I'll tell you, it just about killed you. My grandparents, they used to laugh because normally I have a pretty hearty appetite back then, because I burned it off. But they knew that we were eating somewhere else a little earlier, a bigger meal. So I've kind of done the same thing my grandfather did with my kids. Thanksgiving doesn't have to be on Thanksgiving for dinners. Christmas does not have to be exactly on Christmas Day for you guys out there. That instead of going to 3 different big meals in one day, what I've done is I tell my kids, like on Thanksgiving tomorrow, is spend it with your in-laws, and we'll plan ours for a later date. We can do Thanksgiving, Christmas together, It doesn't matter to me. I'm workable. And I know, like tomorrow, I'm not doing anything. My son and my other son are coming out to hunt in the morning, but Rob's future in-laws are having turkey dinner, Thanksgiving dinner at 2, which has got the boys a little riled because they wanted to hunt the night hunt. And actually they did last year. They hunted the night hunt and ended up having to do warm-up plates when they got in and got their asses chewed out. And I've already checked with my daughter, and my daughter is working. She works from home anyways, remotely. So she's working, and her kids are going to the father's, the in-laws per se, dinner. But just do it safely. Enjoy the ride. If you're on the roads, be careful. I mean, it started raining here last night, and I fully expected, because we have a travel advisory still in effect till 5 o'clock tonight. I honestly thought we would have ice on everything this morning, because when I was sitting on watch last night, it started with hail, and then it switched over to sleet, and then by 4 o'clock it was rain. And it rained the whole time until I got out last night. And when I got ready to go to bed last night around 8, I looked out and it was still raining. It wasn't freezing on. Because up here, if you get ice storms, make sure that generator works, right? And speaking of that generator, make sure you start it once a month, let it run 5-10 minutes, and make sure you have non-ethanol gas in it, and then shut the fuel off, let it run out until the next month. On that note, you guys have a great holiday, and I'm probably still, since I don't have anything going on, I probably will do a video in the morning before the guys hunt, or I'll do one in the afternoon after the guys go to their Thanksgiving dinner. And then the other thing I wanted to bring up is I pretty much have got the home office now set up with mics and lighting and so forth. And I'm going to try to do some up there. And to forewarn you, I have 2 German Shepherds that are sisters. And they get along most of the time, but they need constant attention if you're right there. So don't be surprised if you see the black one, Shiva, sticking her head in the doorway, or Shelby, which is a black and tan, trying to get into camera shots. All right, you guys have a great holiday, and we'll catch some of you here tomorrow. But travel safely. Journey there, journey home. Get home safe. All right.